Yeah, I raced against him at Long Beach in a Pro-Am sort of thing with Toyotas, and he was running a real strong second when I came up on him. He's really quick.
And speaking of stars in the sport, Willie T. Ribbs here today with a lot of help from Bill Cosby.
Well, suddenly we're talking motion pictures, it seems, with Gene Hackman. You know, Columbia Pictures and the actor Michael Douglas have purchased the rights to Willie T. Ribbs' life story. So hopefully that gets made, because this is one fascinating man and a very fine racing driver.
Sure gathering up a lot of experience today, Paul, it's hard to say, because really needs some miles to get used to going from the Trans Am to the IndyCars.
And while we do this, talk to these other people, let me assure you, there is no one in contest with anyone for any position on the race course right now. Nigel Mansell and Mario Andretti run alone on the lead lap. Raul Boesel is third. Arie Luyendyk is fourth. Teo Fabi is fifth. In sixth place is Scott Goodyear. Roberto Guerrero. That little pass right there, of course, that put Mario back. He's trying to get him a lap down once again as they continue their battle. Allinger Jr. is in eighth. In ninth is Robbie Gordon. Bobby Rahal is 10th. There are still 18 cars running in this fight. That may be a record for Michigan.
Yes, it's a bunch. It's been a good race, but you watch there, Nigel pulling over to try to lap Mario. He looked up ahead of him, and believe me, they have to look up here when they're in the bank. He said, whoa, there's another car right there. Can't do it. He had to back out and fall right back in behind.
Mansell, as you can see on the last lap, on 6 miles an hour faster than Mario Andretti. Mario trying to hold him off. Jack Arute.
Well, Paul, we have an interesting scenario unfolding here in the Newman Haas pit. In the case of your leader, Nigel Mansell, in checking with his crew, they feel that they will have to make a 1.1 stop. What we mean by that is they'll have to make one full stop before the end of this race for fuel. Then it most likely will be a splash and go in the waning moments, because the fuel window for them is so close. Conversely, for his teammate Mario Andretti, we checked with their crew, and they say one more stop, and they'll go to the finish.
Well, wait a minute. They both stopped at approximately the same time. Mario Andretti 1 lap before Nigel, and yet they think that scenario will have to play out?
Well, Paul, remember, you just alluded to the speed differential. Speed takes fuel. Fuel is what is of a precious commodity right now. So it could be close, but time will tell. And they're both really hoping for a quick caution.
And of course, anytime you run down into the pits here at Michigan International, you have the opportunity to lose a full lap with just no problem at all, and certainly can lose a position. So the end of this race now begins to set up some drama as Mario Andretti battles with Nigel Mansell. This is the only contest on the circuit, and it is simply Nigel and Mario trying to get off or on the same lap with one another. There are 60 laps left at Michigan. The Frenchman Olivier Griard just rolled into the pits very slowly. They take the cowling off of the car and begin to check the engine compartment. He's been running steadily throughout the day, though he's been running in the bottom 10 of this race, was in 14th when he came into the pits.
Here's another man who's a fine athlete. He has finished the marathon in Rome. He's tough. He had a big crash 2 weeks ago at Toronto down at the end of the pit straight. He was taken to the hospital for examination. He was able to shake that off and come back here as cheerful as ever.
He has an old Chevrolet A engine in there and a 92 chassis, Sam. He really did a good job so far today.
Scott Brayton, the number 22 car. This is his home track. Quite a crowd here watching and cheering him on. He runs in 11th place. Started in 7th. Had a problem throughout the day. Brought him back to 11th place. But the car is still in trim and running at speed. Perhaps before the end of the day, he can move up. But the real move, Bobby, before the end of this day, let's go back and review, as we watch Scott Brayton, this Nigel Mansell, Mario Andretti situation. Well, both of them have at least one more stop to do. That keeps them even, separated by a lap. But then Nigel Mansell may come in for a splash and go. And if he does, the pit stop roll in and roll out time, forget the time that he actually spends in the pits, it could only be a few seconds, could erase that 1 lap difference, and Mario Andretti could be right there and right back in the fight. Isn't that right?
You're absolutely right, Paul. In fact, the only choice that Nigel has right now is he can't reverse his fuel mileage thing, so he's got to put more distance on Mario, take the lap he's got, Figure on throwing it away. This is all provided there's no yellows now. Figure on throwing that lap away. Have a little extra buffer to make his extra stop and go, or not stop and go, but a splash stop that he'll have to make. It's a bad decision to make. But often we come to the end of the race and we see exciting things like the fuel mileage making a difference.
Marco Greco, who had his problems at the start of this race, couldn't get it started and did not take the green flag with the field, is the last car running on the course in 18th position. There are still 18 cars in this fight. In the meantime, let's go toward Teo Fabi's pit now. Gary Gerald.
Well, one of the quiet success stories today, Teo Fabi had boost problems early, started in 8th place. He's been soldiering along in the top 5, currently running in 5th. The crew's getting ready, in fact, right now for a Teo stop. They're hoping that they can get him back out. He can maintain a top 5 position. He finished 2nd here 4 years ago. He'd love to be able to get up there and challenge those Fords before it's all over.
Nervous moment for the crew. They know that what they do will count critically to the end of this race. As Teo begins to dial the car down off of the line, Mario Andretti comes into the pits at the same time. Will follow 2nd place Mario Andretti, Jack.
Well, Paul, they're going to make some chassis adjustments on the car as they take in as much fuel as they possibly can. They are going to change the tire stagger on the car, and they are considering making a small wing adjustment. There they do. They go to the nose of the car, and this is not a small wing adjustment. It's a turn and a half. So they're going to try and set it up. A very slow stop, 16.5, but remember, it's to take on as much fuel as possible.
See Mario Andretti as we watch Teo Fabi, Gary Gerald.
And Teo just away in a 16-second stop. Everything appeared to be routine here. I don't think, however, without the luxury of a yellow, he can go the distance. He'll have to be back in one more time.
And you saw Mario's stop. He was going to gesture just to reinforce what he may have said in other communications on the radio. Exactly what he wanted at the front of that car. He's back up to speed now on the backstretch.
Well, you know, with Mario, the report on him being able to do that, or that being the last stop, shows to me that he's got 49 laps to go, and I don't think he can do it. I don't think he can even come close to it.
Leader of the race, Nigel Mansell, comes in, again playing it very careful, watching the speed limit, and Jack is right there.
And Bobby Unser, in answer to your question, I have to agree with you. I think it might be some psyching going on, but Nigel Mansell's team is having none of it. They're going about their work with no changes on the race car, but they are going to make absolutely certain they take in as much fuel as possible, because they have already determined and announced that they are going to go in and take it. Scott Goodyear is in the pits, but Nigel Mansell stalled the car for a minute trying to get it back into gear. Let's go to Gary.
Raul Boesel is in. He was running in 2nd place with this round of stops. They make a huge wing change on both the right and left front sides. Remember, he's got the clutch problem. Now watch the crew. They're going to push him as much as they can, and he'll limp on down pit road.
Actually, he gets a pretty good start out of the pits this time. He's not roaring up the speed, but he certainly is rolling faster than he has in the past. Here is Mario Andretti and Nigel Mansell as they are side by side on the circuit now. And Nigel slows down just a little bit coming into that corner in his pursuit of Mario.
Yes, and keep another thing in mind. They can't go 49 laps, as Jack and I were just talking about. So they're going to have to make another. I think where the psyching comes in that Jack was talking about is a lot of those teams listen to television. They know that we stay up on what's going on, and they look to us for what they're going to do. So they can cite their team, their other teammates, or sometimes the competitors by listening to television.
I would hate to think that they make any judgment on how to win a 500-mile race by what you or I or Sam say.
Collectively, we make a good source sometimes.
Collectively, sometimes, maybe. So the fight is once again in the Newman Haas team. Here is Emerson Fittipaldi. Jack Arut's there.
Well, Paul, let's give you an update on the condition physically of Nigel Mansell. He continues to complain on the radio that he does not feel well at all. So there is a big problem there, and a yellow has come out. This is the break. Marco Greco's blown engine is a break both for Mario Andretti and possibly for Nigel Mansell for different reasons. For Mansell physically, for Mario to take on that one splash he needs. Mansell will be able to too, but it could be a fight to the finish now.
The starter Jim Swintel said that he would, when he put out a yellow flag, if it was for some sort of debris on the track, which obviously it is because of Marco Greco, he would also at the start-finish line fly the orange and yellow and red flag, which is a course condition flag, to tell them that there may be something on the surface there they need to worry about. So the yellow is out here at Michigan International Speedway, and we're beginning to set up for what might be an incredible battle to the finish between Nigel Mansell and Mario Andretti.